Hello, this is Bahia. I want to welcome the On the Purple Couch family. Today, I have the pleasure and honor of introducing you to the Nigerian artist, sculptor, internationally known and well represented in the diaspora, Francis Uduh. He is going to talk to us about his work, his process, his style, and what he might think about the artist community as he is here in the States working. So, Francis, I'd like to welcome you.
Thank you. My name is Francis Uduh, a sculptor, a painter, and a muralist. Just relocated from Nigeria to America, where I'm like starting all over again. It's like a single word. A thing I know has become a thing I knew. And art is a process. I've been so privileged and opportuned by my art to meet a lot of other artists and other art enthusiasts. You know, trying to get a new American market for my works and maybe for other commission jobs.
Wonderful.
So it's a process, and I thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. I am really excited to introduce the On the Purple Couch family to your work, Francis. I find it very emotional, very deep depth, a range of human emotion styles. I'm enjoying it. I have had the honor of using some of my paint to work on one of your pieces. I would like the audience, first of all, guys, I want you to remember to go to Instagram on the Purple Couch. You'll see some of Francis' work. You've seen me talk about his stuff on Instagram, but we're going to have an opportunity to go a little bit deep on a short interview. Tell us a little bit about your work. There's one piece that you call The Saint. What is that?
The saint, mean one being a saint is like one being pure from within and outside the flesh. The saint, for you to be a saint, it gives you the emotional feel of being at peace, being sinless, being complicated. The inspiration came by my thinking about the Reverend Sisters and most religious women, the way they dressed and not revealing their bodies and other physicals like their hair. And it really struck me that I think this is the way a sinless expression should be. That's why I called that sculpture the Saint. And you can see, this meditation about the mood, being introspective about life, seen from within herself. I think that is just the mood and the reason for the sculpture itself.
It is a very beautiful piece, and the saint you all will see on Instagram, it's of a beautiful woman who is covered, as Francis just said, but you see her almost looking up to the sky, and in effect even looking from the sky into herself. Very interesting. What is the materials that you use, Francis?
Like I use various medium to express my art. First of all, basically is the clay. From the clay, I can make my works, more permanent by either firing the clay into terracotta or getting a mold from the clay and I'm taking it to the bronze foundry to cast as a bronze piece, or the fiberglass. Then I also make use of wood
Okay.
by subtraction. That is wood carving.
Okay.
I also
Yes.
carve wood.
Exactly.
And I just started working now on other medium called metal welding.
Okay.
Trying to work with the stainless steel and aluminium.
Metals,
And all that.
okay.
I just like experimenting with mediums and materials. And I'm also into murals,
Okay.
like the mosaic murals, the acrylic murals, and the bead
Okay.
painting.
Okay. Francis, I have a question for you that will speak to what we call the creatives, right? So a lot of us are, maybe you studied history, you studied law or whatnot. But you are a creative. You love the arts and you support it. As a creative, as an artist, as a sculptor, what keeps you motivated? What keeps you fresh, your eye fresh, your hands fresh, especially somebody like you who works with their hands?
As a creative person, I think life itself is all about creativity. Every human, was created. And my belief about it all, that every man that was created is also a creator. Have that, element of creating something. What truly motivates me from creating is like my immediate environment. I look at things with the creative mind, and I don't always want to do things in a conventional way. I may see the teacup looking like a ball. A lot of things influences me and motivates me to create. Like when I'm asleep as well, I will wake up, I'll look onto the wall, maybe there's a cast of shadow. It gives me a kind of other image, imaginative image. It's all about imagination, yeah. It's all about imagination. And for you to create anything, you first of all conceive it. You have an inspiration, it goes into you, you conceive it. Once you conceive it and you start actualizing it, there are other influences that can alter what your original conceptions are.
I love that notion of conception. I've done a couple of workshops on goal setting, and we have one actually coming up on Saturday, tomorrow, Sunday, where we set out our goals, in this case for 2018, and we set it out, we conceive it visually.
Visually, yeah.
And the idea of that, whatever that process to get you to that conception, but that those things would be realized as you continue to see it out. And so I love that parallel to keeping creative, that you first start with the concept. Yeah. You have traveled internationally. You've won awards. You were part of a select group that was in the UK. Can you tell us a little bit about that work?
Yeah, like the UK, it's called the Transcending Boundaries, where the African artists, I'm from West Africa, Nigeria, showcased their piece of work. It was an annual event, and I think it was amazing, and that the audience, truly appreciated, the art forms of, the artists from Nigeria, which I still believe that creatively, Nigeria has a lot of creative talents. A lot of the renowned African artists are from Nigeria. Today we're trying to break new grounds in the United States. In the UK, I think a lot of Nigerians too have made a mark in the field of creativity, paintings and sculpture, and it was like a good outing. It's a good outing. The folks second and third outing.
Yeah.
It's very good.
It looked like an amazing experience, and as you said, well appreciated and well received. When you think about the artist community in Nigeria, your experience in the UK, and the artist community here in the United States, what's on the horizon? What's coming up in the artist world? Themes that you may see as it relates to sculptors, or just sort of what you have been thinking or conceiving in your mind for the community?
Like the artist community in America is like any other community. I begin to discover. I was thinking the artist in America will be thinking different from the artist in Nigeria. I think it's the same format, it's the same principle, if there's a principle to it, you know, because I still believe art is beyond academics, you know, far, far beyond academics. There are no rules to it. It's all about conceiving, and it's all about the individual. I see a lot of the American sculptors that I have next year reminds me of my other sculptors, friends in Nigeria. The same hard work, the same ways of life, the same. I think it's like a very good experience for me. I was thinking the African artist is like the African artist. The American artist is like the American. It's the same fundamental, the same way of thinking. You know, I think it's amazing.
I love that comparison because, especially in the world we're all living in, we're all looking for connections, deeper connections, and the world is smaller. Is not a cliche; it's a fact. The internet has changed things. Look, we are on this podcast, which of course you can listen to on SoundCloud or iTunes. But our podcast is heard by our fans in South Africa, our fans in Nigeria, our fans in the States, in Liberia, Ghana, and Europe. So right away we have a network where people are learning from each other, and then indeed finding out, again sounds cliche, but finding out that indeed the artist in Nigeria is the same artist right here in Rockville, Maryland, in Washington DC, the same trials and so forth. There's a piece that you did, Symbiosis. I'm not saying Symbiosis.
And it's life itself.
Yes.
Life is all about symbiosis, depending on age, order. And the womanhood, the motherhood, which I used in representing symbiosis, the mother and the child. You see, a child is, you know, highly connected to his or her mom. You know, you see the link. The mother looking down onto the child, and the child looking up onto the mother, you know. The child depends on the mother also depends on the child.
Yes.
You know, as a young child, solely, everything the child needs are being provided by the mother. And as an older child, probably, that's the way I have experienced it, the parents, the mother especially, starts looking up to the child, while the child looks down onto the mother for mutual benefits. It's all about, life is all about mutual benefit, and life is all about dependency. We all depend on each other. There is no isolation in life. There's no isolation. We are all interdependent, you know, on each other, directly or indirectly.
Very much so. The concept of, a lot of people know I have a 7-year-old, and I was talking this morning to my husband about the role of a mother. And especially in our American life where there's so much going on, and the importance, I was reflecting on, you know, how they call it self-care. I don't know what is the right terminology, but how do you fortify another human being, your family, your child, when you're also running on empty because you're running and doing all different things, but that you have to be at the top of your game.
That is it.
You have to be, because you are nurturing a child, this symbiotic relationship, so that as time goes on, she is strong enough to turn it and keep going.
That is it.
The mutually beneficial relationship. You have to be able to pour into your child, which means you have to have something to give, and something of quality.
That will be returned to you, because once you bring up your child the righteous way, that's the right way. Good quality, along the line, that child grow up being responsible. You are now responsible for the child.
Yes.
The child now will become responsible to you, not only to you, to his or herself, to his immediate environment, and everyone will be at peace.
Yes.
But once that child is being neglected, once there's no symbiosis, once the child gets, independent, that's why you don't have to just have a child and isolate the child. You must constantly, watch. Once a child gets too independent on time, there's usually a problem. He or she won't be responsible because there's no link. That's what they say: love. You'll be able to love what you have procreated.
Yes. What you're saying is so deep on so many levels. It's deep on so many levels. I think people who are listening to this are interested in art, but if you're a member of a community, member of a family, you can see directly the parallels to what Francis is talking about beyond art, but its application to your life, to your family, your community, your work, and so forth. Very, very important. Thank you for that, especially for some of my mothers and grandmothers that are listening, and child, providers and so forth. What do you think about color? Do you have a favorite color? Is there a color that you dream in, or are you a black and white? What is color to you?
Well, I think color is color. Yellow, orange, blue, white, black, they are no colors. They're just neutrals. They're just neutrals, They're no
tell
colors.
us a little
neutral,
bit.
The white is neutral. There's no color to the white. The black is neutral. There's no color to the black. And you see, without the black, there won't be the white.
That's right.
Both spiritually and physically. White is the complement of black. Black is the complement of white.
Interesting.
And life is all about white and black as well. That's why it is said white is neutral, black is neutral. And other colors are all good colors and favorite colors to me. I don't have specific favorite color. It depends on my mood. And colors could be psychological too.
Yes, very much.
It could be spiritual too.
Very much.
It could be emotional too. Like I begin to hear a lot of people say, I am a white man, I'm a black man. I've never seen a white man. And maybe I've seen something close to black, but it is not black. I've never seen a black human being. But people just use it for representational purpose. What race are you, white or black? Some people say I'm a white man, some people say I'm a black man. God never created any person white, and he never created any person black. The charcoal is black, it's an element. No human being. If you see a black being, you'll be scared because it is not normal. If you see somebody that is white, you'll be scared because it is not normal. I think it's just a human. People see white colors from different angles, spiritual or physical. They say white is pure. They say black is dirty or unclean or demonic, and then white is God, black is the devil. The devil is not a black man or a white man, it is a spiritual thing. But the artists have been able to express the devil as one very ugly black entity. The devil, from what I read in the Bible, is a very handsome, clean, and attractive entity.
All right.
It's not a scary entity.
Okay.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not a scary entity. I think life is all about color, both spiritually and physically. So every color has its complement, and every color has
Yes.
good color. Red is a beautiful color. If there's no red, there won't be green.
That's right. One of the things, Francis, that I learned being a colorist, being trained by Annie Sloan, the maker of the Annie Sloan chalk paint, I went deep into understanding color and came to similar, of course you express it, yeah.
And colors too
Yes.
could be a healing therapy,
Yes.
If you go to, if you get into somewhere that the colors are not right, you get sick. If you go to somewhere that the colors are right, maybe you were dull, you become emotionally uplifted.
Yes.
Colors could be psychological too. It's like the fine art itself, art itself can be used as a means for psychological upliftment, or a means for psychologically, what call it again? Is it
Depressing or whatnot.
depressing or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I tell you, you are speaking my language, because as I studied color, all those themes came to me. The uses and the power of color and the power of our expression of what they are, especially to our children today. My 7-year-old said to me, "Mama, there are no red people." We were singing Jesus loves it, red and yellow, black and white. He stopped me in my tracks. I said, "My God, yes, we grew up on these songs." But I mean, he was so indignant. "Mama, there's no red people." I said, "My child, you're right." Because color is so powerful. And,
Very, very powerful.
And lends itself to so much. To so much in our life.
God itself is colorful. Let me go spiritual a little bit.
Go right ahead.
God is very colorful, That's why He created. You've seen some beautiful flowers, some beautiful leaves, the sky at times, you begin to wonder. I think life itself is all about color. No color, no life.
Thank you.
No color, no life. That
Simple.
is the truth.
Simple. And it is a joyous thing to be surrounded by color.
Colors.
It is. And to be able to use it maybe in medicine, into the spiritual medicine.
That is it. That is it.
For some of us who are like me, I need sunlight.
And art itself is...
Yes.
Life itself is all about art. There's nothing that we are doing here on earth that, does not involve the art. Like the clothes you're putting on, it's all about art. It's all about, I can call it, a flat sculpture that when you wear it, it becomes a three-dimensional sculpture. The beads you are wearing is all about art. Everything here is all about art, whether industrial or
Very
real
much.
art. So I think it's been a pleasure.
One last question. Francis, tell us a little bit about your training.
My training, I think it's like a long story. As a child, I loved creativity. I loved drawing. I started drawing on the sand, from the sand, the walls. Then whenever I'm coming back from school, because we have to trek to school and trek back, there's this sign writer on my way home. I will always stand by the kiosk. They use this wooden kiosk, It will paint people that are playing guitar. It does signs, people riding on bicycles and all that. And I started wondering, how, can someone draw from imagination and it looks real. You know, I finished from my primary school, I went to my secondary school, and the school I went, because my parents wanted me to become a medical doctor, I went to a science school. It was like all sciences and all that. And I had friends that were already into the college, and they were doing fine art. And during the holidays, I would go to their house, you know, I see them paint, and I got so interested. Then I enrolled for my final high school examination. I was the only candidate for fine art. The external examiners that were conducting the examination noticed me because, you know, my science subjects were like, they saw that I was doing well. Then on the day of the fine art, I was outside, I painted, I did a landscape painting, which the examiner saw and started calling me a scientific artist.
Oh, okay.
Started calling me a scientific artist. How come you are the only one and you did so well? Then when I left the high school, I opted that I wanted to do fine art. My parents refused. That was my fox. Will I call it rebellion? I told my mom, if I don't do fine art in the college, there's no other subject that I don't want to become a medical doctor. At the end of the day, I think she reluctantly agreed, and it was like a problem, her paying my fees, and I discovered, because I've known bigs, that as an artist you can earn your own income while even in school.
Okay.
While my friends were like playing in school, I would go to town, start seeking for people that wants either their sign boards retouched or do a new signboard, do banners, and I was making income.
Okay.
So I started paying my fees, which my mother was surprised. Said, how are you making money to pay? I said, the same finer that you say the artists are poor, because people believe the artists are poor people.
Yeah.
The artists are crazy people. The
Yeah.
artists are dirty people. All bad impressions. I begin to wonder, someone that are creative, the people that are creative, you give them all on you know, the artists basically are not conventional people. If you are conventional, you can't be creative. You want to do things in your own creative way, but that is maybe what people didn't understand. You know, but today I think a lot of people have started understanding that the artist is a unique person because he's a creative person. He's sleeping. And to God be all the glory. Today, here I am. I have never worked for anybody. I've been self-employed from my undergraduate days till this moment, using the same art to live. And I think that, I believe, is the only thing I would have done. Is what I am doing. And if there is life again to come, I think I will still remain the artist I am. Because I discovered that whatsoever that you are doing, if you are not creative, you can't be, you know, good at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Francis, I appreciate your words. I appreciate your perspective. And as a senior artist, seasoned artist.
Like you were asking, well, after that, the schools I went was, first and foremost, was the Awushi Polytechnic. In, it was in Bender State then, but today I think it's in Edo State.
Okay.
I was there for my 2 years program, which they call the OND, Ordinary National Diploma.
Okay.
From there, I migrated to Lagos State, where I worked briefly with another artist. They call it industrial training.
Okay.
For 1 year. I think after that, I proceeded to Yaba College of Technology to specialize in sculpture. You know, that should be in 1987 I graduated, and since then I've been self-employed. I've been a full-time, that's the word, full-time studio artist.
Okay. And all of this was in the West African, for my audience, West African nation of Nigeria. So check out Nigeria. Beautiful Instagram pages to learn about Nigeria is where Francis was talking about where he went to school. Francis, I want to thank you for the opportunity to work with you. It's been a pleasure. We met here at Artists and Makers. We're going to have some nice collaborations coming up, and you guys will look forward to that. Thank you for the interview time.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome.
It's a great pleasure.
You are welcome. You are welcome. So everybody, make sure you share this. Make sure you like. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. The podcast is on iTunes. It's called On the Purple Couch. So you can just search that. It's also on Stitcher. And I'll be posting this. I hope to hear from you. I'd love to hear your reactions. Thanks, everybody. And thank you, Francis, again.
Thank you.